For you. Start taking the right steps at managebp.org. Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Medical Association, and the Ad Council.
Every minute, news is breaking. Stories are being updated. Lives are being changed. Stay connected and ahead of the curve by taking us wherever you go with our mobile app through TuneIn, iHeart, or Odyssey.com. This is 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Portions of this hour's programming may be pre-recorded. Sweep the League, sponsored by Sweep the League Radio on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
One is a local UTSA legend and former NBA player. Another is a future megastar as a music producer. While one is just a baseline bum who loves to talk about sports. What do all three have in common? Well, nothing. I mean, they all live in San Antonio, I guess. Sweep the League, sponsored by United Collision Care Center, is on the air with Rudy Campos Jr., Derek Gervin, and Shamaya Reed. You have a problem with that? Didn't think so. It's time for Sweep the League.
Waiting all day for Sunday night.
Hey, this is George Iceman Gervin, and you're listening to Sweep the League Radio.
You are listening to Sweep the League Radio. Drop that
Halloween 2021. Sweep the League is back on the air here at 9:30 a.m. The Answer, sponsored by United Collision Care Center and Project Spurs. Gentlemen, it's Halloween, and I came dressed up like I said I would. I am dressed up as Gizmo for those that didn't see the video. Yeah, I'm Gizmo. Derek came in as a San Antonio basketball player with his pregame outfit. And Shamaya has the scariest costume of all.
Yes, sir.
A Detroit Lions Calvin Johnson getup here. That is terrifying. That is terrifying, Shamaya.
I mean, our record is really scary, man.
Your record's been pretty scary for a while, for a long while, but that is definitely the scariest outfit tonight here in the Sweep the League studios. Rudy Campos Jr., Derek Gervin, Shamaya on the beats. We have the guys behind the glass, Mark and Chris. Actually, we're going to call Mark Stats now. That's his nickname, Stats and Galler behind the glass. So, guys, exciting already. It's been an exciting weekend. UTSA football up in the rankings, number 16 in the AP poll, 18 in the coaches poll. And you know what? That would have been the absolute icing on the cake for this weekend on UTSA football. But not only did we get that, we had other news drop tonight, Derek, that Coach Traylor signed an extension, 10 years, $28 million, $2.8 million a year. That is absolutely amazing. As an alumni of UTSA, thoughts on that, Derek? Because fans were really, really worried that he was going to go somewhere else. How do you feel about Coach Traylor signing that 10-year deal?
Well, first of all, let me say happy Halloween to everyone out there, all the young people and the parents. Wow, this is something new for UTSA, but it's something that I was happy to see. I think Mr. Traylor has done a fantastic job. I hate that we're only number 16 because of some teams are losing, and then we move up. I think we're a much better team than we're given credit for. But I have to say, 10 years, as we know, that's a long deal. That's a long contract. $2.8 million a year, not bad. But
No.
I'm sure the other teams out there, though, Texas Tech and LSU are raving up their little guns and try to see how much money they have on the shelf. But I hope Mr. Traylor stays. I'm already proud of the things he's done here, and I wish him nothing but the best, and I'm proud, and I say go Roll Runners.
Exactly, Derek. I mean, that is a breath of fresh air to UTSA fans after seeing, Texas Tech knocking on the door and thinking, okay, he might go to Texas Tech. Everything's been shot down. As of now, Coach Traylor is sticking with the Roadrunners, 10-year extension, $28 million, 2.8 a year. That's more than the NBA veteran minimum, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. He's making more than NBA vets right now with that kind of contract. Congratulations to Coach Traylor. UTEP is up next for the Roadrunners. Now, UTEP this past weekend, I believe they ended up taking an L going into this weekend as well. So this is a game I believe that if the Roadrunners win, which I have a lot of confidence that they are going to win this coming weekend, this would probably, it depends on how they win. By what margin of victory do the Roadrunners need to win by over UTEP to continue the rise on the rankings? Now, I'm thinking if they are going into UTEP and say they come out with a 44-24 type win, 20-point victory, in your opinion, is that enough to make a little bit more of a jump, maybe from 16 to a possibly 14 or 13? Because some teams ahead of them, like a Texas A&M who plays in the SEC, an Auburn who plays in the SEC, also Ole Miss, they all have 2 losses on their record. So a 9-0 record compared to a team with 2 losses in the SEC, albeit it's the SEC. Is it enough if they win by a lot, by 20 plus or more against UTEP, to you think that they would get into the top 14, maybe top 15?
I believe we already belong in the top 15 or 14, but if they come out and they take care of business the way they've been doing so far this year, I definitely could see them making a jump. The good thing is some teams have been losing that have been expected to win this year at a high level. And so that's helping us move up. The notoriety continues to gain, which is a great thing. But, yeah, I think if we come out and we slap UTEP around, definitely will be more on the radar. And I think we could finally go ahead and crack that top 15, top 14.
I feel the same, man. I really feel the same. I think UTSA is definitely on its way up. Getting this news with Coach Trailer, fantastic news. Like we said, 10 years, $28 million. Roadrunners, number 16. The game against UTEP coming up. Definitely huge. Now, what's even bigger is when they come back home. You and I and Shemaya, we want to send people to the game. So we've got tons of ways to do it. We actually got a caller line. We're going to get to her in a little bit here. You can call us at 210-308-8867, the Project Spurs hotline. Give us a call, 210-308-8867. Give us your take. You want to talk UTSA, talk Spurs, talk whatever you want. You want to tell us how bad I'm doing on the radio? Tell me how bad I'm doing on the radio. Whatever you want to do. Or if you want to play the game, which we have 2 games available tonight, sports trivia, and we also have music movie matchup. So you've got to match up the movie with a song that's being played. Hint, it's all Halloween stuff. The movie stuff is all Halloween stuff. If you can win one of these games, you are going to see UTSA football when they come back in the dome. Hashtag pack the dome. That is the Project Spurs hotline, 210-308-8867. We will get to our first caller who's actually on the line here in a little bit. We're going to get into we'll do second segment. Second segment, we'll start that off with her. Spurs Cheesemate coming up in the 4th segment in the first hour. We're not going to get a Project Spurs member calling in because they're all trick-or-treating where we should be. We should be going to get candy. But we've got a little bit of Spurs Cheesemate coming up in the 4th segment. High School Athlete of the Week coming up in the 2nd segment of our 2nd hour. Brandon will be with us to give us another High School Athlete of the Week. And we've also got Spurs Talk coming in here at the end of the 1st hour as well. Spurs are 2-3 right now. They came off a pretty good victory with against the Milwaukee Bucks. DeJounte Murray playing at a different level. You and I were talking about Lonnie Walker. We're going to get in a little bit about that. Not only that, MLB World Series, there's just a ton of stuff going on. Braves are up 3-1, Derek. You said Astros in 6. Yeah. I said Astros in 6. Chris said Astros in 6. Shemaya said he doesn't care. So we're also rooting for the Astros tonight to pull out this win and try to get the World Series back to Houston. NFL news, Jameis Winston. Terrible news coming out of that. Also, I want to get your thoughts on Calvin Ridley, where he came out. He's taking a little break. I'm going to get one of the guys to give us pretty much his quote from what he put on Twitter. Not only that, they're scariest moments in sports history. It's a scary time today. Halloween is a very scary day, as we all know. And also the scariest players to play against. I'm really excited for that because you got to play against some mean guys back in the day. So we definitely got to get that. All that and much, much more coming to you from the 9:30 a.m. The Answer Studios. Sweep the League, sponsored by United Collision Care Center. Luis and his guys out there, all certified techs. They'll be able to get you back on the road in no time. Project Spurs, #1 coverage in Spurs basketball. Derek Gervin, Shemai on the beats. Gizmo Campos in the building. Guys behind the glass. We'll be right back.
United Collision Care Center, official sponsor of Sweep the League, specializes in body paint, frame, and mechanical services from light cosmetic repairs to heavy collision hits, as well as fleet maintenance. All technicians are platinum certified by ICAR, the top training organization in the collision industry. Quality and customer service are what their business ethics are based on. Trust is the hardest thing to build and the easiest thing to lose. So let's build a mutual relationship that starts with trust and a peace of mind. Contact Lewis and his staff today, 210-595-6413, or visit them at 6575 Pratt Road.
You've been listening to Sweep the League Radio. Follow us on Twitter at Sweep the League. Shemaya is at Shemaya on the BT. Or what about Chris Galler at official Mr. 300? Sweep the League Radio, sponsored by Project Spurs, the United Collision Care Center. If you want to go visit them, you can also visit us at www.sweeptheleague.com.
This is a Hot Pie Original.
Hey, what's up? I'm Chad Fisher.
And I'm Tony Farmer.
And we're teaming up to bring you the DNPCD Sports Podcast.
We'll be bringing you unique interviews with some of the top names in sports.
Tony is a contributor for Sports Illustrated's SI.com, and he's a nutrition coach.
And Chad is a comedian and former sports writer.
We talk to the sports stars you know about the stories you don't know about.
And we don't ask cliche questions, so we don't get cliche answers.
So you'll get to know some of your favorite athletes on a completely different level.
DNPCD is a sports podcast with a little bit of comedy and thought-provoking interviews, brought to you by Hot Pie Media.
Hey guys, it's Sweep the League. You've been listening to Sweep the League. Be sure to follow us on all of our Twitters, at Shemaya on the BT, at Sweep the League is myself. Why not go follow Chris Galler at official Mr. 300, or head over to the website, www.sweeptheleague.com. Again, Sweep the League Radio. Happy Halloween. Sweep the League Radio back on 9:30 a.m. The Answer, Rudy Campos Jr., Gizmo Campos tonight, Derek Gervin, Shemai on the beats, Chris and Stats and behind the glass. We are coming live from the 9:30 a.m. studios on the 12th floor of the 9:30 a.m. studios. I am terrified of heights, and funny because it's Halloween, you should be terrified of something. I'm terrified of heights. Shemai is not on camera right now.
Just like my Detroit Lions, man, we never show up.
Yeah, his camera's not working, just like the Detroit Lions football team. It's not working at all for him this season. United Collision Care Center, guys. Go see those guys out there, United Collision Care Center. Luis and his staff will get you back on the road in no time. If you are in an accident, don't stress about it. Let these guys take all the stress and worries off of your shoulders. They will take care of you 100% of the time, guaranteed. Project Spurs, Michael DeLeon and his staff, providing the absolute best coverage in Spurs basketball, whether it's San Antonio Spurs or Austin Spurs. They are providing the #1 coverage in the Spurs cast with Paul Garcia. Definitely the best Spurs podcast out there. Go visit them at projectspurs.com or search them Project Spurs across all social medias. It's game time. It is game time. We've got a caller. What does she want to play? Who do we have on the line right now? Caller, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. So, do you want to win UTSA tickets?
I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Oh, are we breaking up? In and out? Can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Do you want to win UTSA tickets?
Sure, yes. That's my alma mater.
Alma mater, birds up. Derek. Hey, Derek.
Birds up
Yeah, there you
all
go.
day.
All right, so who do we have on the line right now?
This is Cassandra.
Cassandra. Okay, you've got an option here. You can either play sports trivia or you can do the music movie matchup. What do you want to do?
Music movie matchup.
She's going with the hard one. All right. So music movie matchup. Basically, the way it works is we're gonna play music. We're gonna play music. You got to tell us what movie it goes with. Now, we're giving you 3 of them. You got to get 2 out of 3. Is that fair enough?
Yes.
Fair enough. So all you got to do is, like I said, give us the movie behind it. And if it's right, you win. If not, well, we got to go to the next caller. And I hope you do win. Are you ready to play, Cassandra?
Yes.
All right, Shamaya, let's go. Number 1. Let's do it.
Ghostbusters.
She said Ghostbusters. Shamaya, she right on that one?
You are right on that one.
That is right. That was kind of an easy one. I think that was kind of easy. So you're 1 for 1, Cassandra. You're almost there. You're halfway there to get to UTSA. Let's go with number 2, Shamaya.
Halloween.
She didn't even wait.
Dang.
She's
All right.
Cassandra, you're on your way to see UTSA football, but let's go to see if you can go 3 for 3. And I've also got a bonus one. If you get the bonus song after this, I'm going to send you with some Burger Boy as well. Give her number 3.
Woo-hoo!
Wait, here's what I'd suggest. I'd advise, close your eyes, get some rest. Now you're up. Don't get up. That was your first test. Use your head, or you're dead. Listen, don't get stressed. To recap, it's a trap. Got bad news for you. Very few make it through.
What do you got, Cassandra?
Oh my God, I don't know that one.
You don't know that one. Okay, we're not going to give the answer up, but you did get 2 out of 3. So you are going to see UTSA football. Now, bonus question. This is the bonus one here, because if you get this, we're going to give you a pregame meal. So we're going to get you a gift card to Burger Boy. Can you name the movie that this song goes to? Do you have an idea, Cassandra?
Transformers. I don't know.
Transformers. That's not right. I'm sorry. That is incorrect. But the good thing is you've got the main part of the game right. 2 out of 3. You and a friend are going to see UTSA football when they come back here at the Dome on the 13th of November. So I'll be sure to get your information here in just a second. Shamaya's going to get it from you right now. But congratulations, Cassandra. What is the absolute best show on Sundays?
Say that again.
What is the absolute best show on Sundays?
Your show.
My show. What is my show called? You got to give us the show name.
Sweep the League.
Sweep the League. Thank you, Cassandra. Congratulations. We'll get your information here in just a second.
Stay on the line.
So that way we can get you your UTSA tickets. Derek, we got a winner. We couldn't give away the tickets last week. We got a winner now.
Well, that's 2 more people we'll have at the Roadrunners game. So meep.
2 more people to have at the Roadrunners game. And then, hey, if you guys want to call in again, 210-308-8867 Project Spurs hotline. You saw how easy it was. That's easy to win tickets. You want to go see UTSA football? Call in 210-308-8867. Get the kids trick-or-treating. Get home. Give them the candy. Turn that dial on to 9:30 a.m. The Answer, or get us on social media. We are live on Twitter. We're live on Twitch, YouTube, as well as Facebook. Join in on the fun. Go see UTSA football. All right, Derek. San Antonio Spurs basketball. They came off of a very hard-fought, good win last night against the Milwaukee Bucks. They have been playing, now they're 2-3. They have been playing, is it superb or is it mediocre, or right where you feel that they should be playing right now? Because after a loss, it's like burn the entire center down, trade everybody on the team. But after a win, this is the Spurs basketball we want. This is the Spurs team we expect. In your eyes, what are you seeing with this Spurs team? You said you were probably looking at a higher win percentage. I still stuck with the 28 wins for the year. I knew it was going to be a tough year. But for you, after 5 games, do you still see it being a tough year? Maybe it's just the beginning of the year. There's still a lot of basketball to play. How are you seeing this Spurs team right now?
Wow. Well, currently as constructed, I'm still trying to figure out what the plan is. Who's going to be that guy in the fourth quarter? I know DeJounte Murray's been playing well and been leading them in scoring, I believe. Lonnie's had some good games. Devin Vassell has had some good games. Jakob Poeltl's had some good games. But as the season progresses, and you need, I believe you have to have a star. And right now, I don't know the situation as far as what they're going to do. I still believe they're trying to move Thaddeus Young. He's been playing lately. He actually played well the other night. I believe he had 10 points and 8 rebounds in like 16 minutes. We have Doug McDermott. So we have a couple of veterans. Brent Forbes is back. But if you were to look at it right now, I don't see them competing as far as being a top 6 team. But one thing we know about the Spurs, every night they're going to be competitive. They're going to play very hard. But I know that they're still trying to figure out their identity, and we'll see more what happens between now and the trade deadline. That's the thing that for me, because I believe they want a star out there. I believe there's someone out there available that they could bring in that could help upgrade the team right now. So we have to just be a little patient, but they are the San Antonio Spurs. So one thing we know, we're going to get 100% effort every night.
Do you expect them to make a trade before this trade deadline?
I do.
I feel like they've got the young stars. Now, I can't really say stars so much, but I'm using it because we know their capability. But do they have enough trade value to bring a star in with who they have right now to give up?
I say yes, because if you look at it, they're very backcourt heavy. No, some of those guys are very valuable. Lonnie's valuable. DeJounte's valuable. I mean, Derek White. They brought back Forbes, so I don't see him moving. But, yeah, I think they have they could put together enough of a package to get a pretty good player out there. I still don't know what's going on with Ben Simmons. I don't know how receptive the Spurs would be to bringing in Ben Simmons at this time. But I do believe they'll make a move. I believe when you really think about it, how many big men are out there at 6'8" or bigger that can spread the floor? And that's what I think they need. Either they're going to play Thaddeus Young or they have to use him as trade bait to bring in a pretty good player. And I think before the break happens, I think they're going to make a move. I'll be really surprised if they don't.
Yeah, it kind of does seem like they should make a move during this season, actually. Lonnie Walker is the guy that always gets thrown into trade rumors. You know, if we're going to trade a young guy, Lonnie's got to be involved. After seeing DeJounte play this year, it's like, do we even consider trading DeJounte, Derek? Because no matter what, Lonnie's got to be a part of the deal, because I think he's the one guy that always gets mentioned. But he's been playing really good this year. I mean, he's had a couple of bad games, but overall, I mean, his improvement seems to be there.
Yeah, but like I said, they're heavy in the backcourt, so they got a lot of guys, and sometimes that can, be a detriment. How do you play these guys? How do you find time for Forbes and Derek White and Lonnie and DeJounte? They have a lot of guards. You could play Doug McDermott at the 2 if you really wanted to. So that's another guy that could be considered a guard. But I still think we have to figure out what is their goal for this year. Is it just to make the playoffs? As we know, Lonnie didn't re-sign. They didn't sign Lonnie to an extension. And that's one of the things that makes me think that they're trying to save money so they can bring in another player. So we're going to have to see what happens between now and the All-Star break. But until that time, I think they'll continue to stay afloat. They play hard every single night, and that gives you a chance to win no matter who your opponent is.
Lonnie Walker thing, I've got to ask you, because I was on a Two Shots podcast this past week, and I asked a question on there. I do want to get your opinion on it. Derek Gervin, Shimon on the Beats, Rudy Campos Jr., Stats and Galler behind the glass. Congratulations, Cassandra, our first winner of UTSA football tickets. Remember, call us 210-308-8867. Sweep the league. We'll be back.
UTSA in the house.
Don't let the stress of getting into an accident keep you down. Contact United Collision Care Center, where Lewis and his certified technicians will get you back on the road in no time. They're a 5-star company with over 270 reviews on CarWise.com. Quality and customer service are what separate them from the rest, making them the best. Specializing in body paint, frame, and mechanical services, from light cosmetic repairs to heavy collision hits, United Collision Care Center does it all. Contact them today at 210-595-6413 or visit their shop at 6575 Pratt Road. Again, that's United Collision Care Center, the best in the business and official sponsor of Sweep the League.
You've been listening to Sweep the League Radio. Follow us on Twitter at Sweep the League. Shemaya is at Shemaya on the BT. Or what about Chris Geller at official Mr. 300? Sweep the League Radio, sponsored by Project Spurs and United Collision Care Center. If you want to go visit them, you can also visit us at www.sweeptheleague.com. Two Shots Podcast is a fun-filled extravaganza bringing you into the world of sports and entertainment. Joe Garcia and the staff keep you updated on Spurs, combat sports, Dallas Cowboys, and my favorite, everything in Nerdville like Marvel and DC. Head to the line for Two Shots, as in Two Shots Podcast, available across all streaming platforms. No sport is bigger than football here in the Lone Star State. High school football is king on Friday nights, so listening to Along the Wire with B. Damone is a must. Brandon brings you all the latest news and notes, as well as rankings for our local high school football teams here in San Antonio. Cue up the band, get comfortable in your bleacher seat, and tune in for the best high school coverage around with Along the Wire.
You know what the difference is between you and me? I make this look good.
With SRN News, I'm Jason Walker. While his approval rating numbers are sinking rapidly, President Biden claims he has everything under control. On supply chains, Biden says he has plans to make the ports run better. For American workers, he says he's building an economy with pay raises. Two passenger trains colliding in England earlier today after one of them had derailed. A second train slammed into one car that derailed. There are numerous injuries. And in South Carolina, 3 people have been killed when an Amtrak passenger train hit an SUV. A proposal to replace the Minneapolis Police Department with a new, quote, public safety unit goes before the voters this week. The idea on Tuesday's ballot has its roots in the Abolish the Police movement. This is SRN News.
9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Shemaya on the beat. Sweep the League Radio. We the greatest, baby.
Happy Halloween. Sweep the League here at 9:30 a.m. The Answer is brought to you by United Collision Care Center. Luis and the guys up there, certified techs, will get you back on the road. If you're in an accident, like I've said before, don't stress about it. We know accidents can be stressful. Let them worry about it. They'll get you back on the road in no time. Contact United Collision Care Center. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League. Project Spurs. Spurs season underway. Yeah, a little bit of struggle in the Spurs season to begin with, but you want that in-depth coverage. Guys over at Project Spurs got you covered 100% of the time. Absolute best in Spurs coverage. Go visit them, projectspurs.com, or search them across all over social media at Project Spurs. Coming back, Derek, I want to get real quick into this here before I go to stats over there for the Spurs' last 5 games, because I want to see how close they've been on every game here. I wanted to ask you real quick. We were talking about Lonnie Walker. And before I get into Lonnie Walker real quick, I want to give a quick shout out here. 210-308-8867 Project Spurs hotline. Give us a call. Any Spurs talk. Cowboys are playing. We'll get an update here in just a little bit. Also, it is Halloween. Go to Twitter. Our Twitter feed is at Sweep the League. Tweet us your picture. We're gonna pick a picture out there. And if you get picked, if you get selected, you're gonna go to UTSA football as well. It's simple as that. Facebook. We'll have a post on Facebook as well. Post your pictures on Facebook. We want to see all these Halloween pictures. I'm the absolute cutest gizmo in studio right now. Shemaya has the terrifying, and that's why he's not on camera.
I don't want to scare people.
He's not on camera because he's got the most terrifying costume. He's in a Detroit Lions Calvin Johnson jersey, and that is the absolute disrespectful part about it. It's Calvin Johnson, and that jersey looks like it's been through the meat grinder, man. What is wrong with that? Golly. But yeah, give us a call, guys. 210-308-8867. If you want to play the game, you can play the game. We're giving away Burger Boy. We're giving away UTSA tickets. We're giving away a lot of stuff. It's Halloween night. We're celebrating that way. It's trick and treat.
Hey, Rudy, you just like Detroit. You're always giving.
I'm always giving. I'm always giving the dubs, right? Come visit me. I'm always giving it away here. So I wanted to get back to Lonnie Walker, man. I was on a podcast. Shout out to Joe Garcia, Two Shots Podcast. I was on his podcast this week. And I started to dive into the rabbit hole a little bit more here. Lonnie Walker, they didn't sign the contract. And I thought, okay, I get it. Prove your worth, get the bag, secure the bag. He's been doing a really good job this year. Got me thinking there. Is there any possible reason why they didn't sign that contract or offer it to him? Because it makes it more I guess it makes more sense to trade him, because then you're not committing that much money to a contender because his contract is so inexpensive right now. It's a rookie deal, so it's not going to cost a lot, to where if you extend him, then that's a lot more money on the books. So is that something that is somewhere in the back of people's minds that they don't really know about? Because it hit me, and I thought from a business standpoint, it makes sense. A contender is not going to want to pay or trade for a guy that signed an extensive deal because it may not fit under the cap.
Man, this is a hard situation. I'm still thinking the Spurs have questions about Lonnie. We've been saying the same thing now for about 3 years. Sometimes he can be a highlight reel, and we've seen him have some good games. But then there are other nights it seems like his motor is not that high. I believe the Spurs are high on Lonnie because he's a very good community guy. He's done a lot here. The fans, I know, like him a lot, and he brings some excitement. But is Lonnie a guy that you can depend on as you move closer to the playoffs? We still don't know that yet. And as far as his motor, that's a big issue. I believe that they are sold on Murray. DeJounte, I believe, right now is untradeable. But when you look at the other guys, Derek White, as we know, has a few injuries. So he could still be in a trade deal. I can see his name coming up. I like Lonnie personally. I like Lonnie. I think he's been a very good guy for the community. But I'm sure that they still have some questions about him behind the scenes, about which Lonnie are you going to get? What is his ceiling? And I think that's what they're still trying to figure out. And I think that's the main reason they didn't re-sign him.
So let's see how good the Spurs have been doing the past couple of games here. The first 5 games here. We got stats in the back over here. Stats, I need to know exactly what we're looking at for the Spurs wise, because I'm trying to figure out. I know they've been close in all these games, but give me the scores for the past 5 games, and let's see what we got here.
All right. Hey. So here's what we got here, man. The Spurs, they got energy. They're playing with passion, and they're staying in these games. So these last 5 games, the Nuggets beat them 102-96. So again, only 6 points. The Bucks beat them 121-111. Again, the world champs, only a 10-point, win. The Lakers won 125-121 in overtime. So they only won by 4, but the Spurs took them to OT. That's a big deal. Mavs win 104-99. Again, only 5 points. And then just most recently, the Spurs beat the Bucks 102-93 on the road with Chris Middleton in the game, who burned them in their first matchup.
So the stats line is not bad, Derek. I mean, they're competing pretty much every single game, and it's not bad. The thing is, their season started off with a brutal schedule. So knowing that it was a brutal schedule, should Spurs fans be upset at this team right now? And should they wave the white flag?
No, it's a little early for that. But they've been very competitive games, but all those teams that you named have stars. And when you come down to the fourth quarter, you got to have those go-to guys. If you really look at the Spurs right now, who could you say is their go-to guy on a regular basis? I like Murray. I think Murray's a really good player, but I look at him more as a facilitator, a heck of a defender. I don't want him being my leading scorer, and that's a problem. I thought Keldon Johnson would have a better start to his year, but as we know, he got benched the other night for the fourth quarter and for overtime. So I don't know what was going on there. That's the guy I expected to step up and be the man. But right now, no one is clearly taking that mantle yet. If you look at it consistently, if you want me to be honest, their most consistent player so far has been Jakob Poeltl.
I've been saying he's been the MVP so far of that team.
The guy is a rim. He covers the rim. I mean, he can pass the ball. He's not as athletic. He's not I won't even say athletic because Jokic has no athleticism. He's a smaller version, lower, how would I say it? A poor man's Jokic. So that's been a good thing. But I like Poeltl. But here's a big question, and this is for you yourself.
All right.
How far can they go when you have, okay, we know Thaddeus Young's situation.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Jakob Poeltl and you have Drew Eubanks as your bigs. And that's the question for me. How dependable is Drew Eubanks as we go further on into the season?
If you're asking me if I trust that rotation for big guys, and it's actually no, I don't. I mean, you're talking 82 game season. Yeah, Jakob's playing great, but Jakob does have a history of injuries. I mean, he does. So counting on Jakob to be healthy the entire season, I don't know yet. Drew Eubanks is still young. It's not like he's been in the organization, 30 years, 20 years. I mean, he's still freshly new in the organization. He's been in Austin. He's played with the organization for a little while, but I don't trust him at the NBA level just yet. Jock Landale, I mean, he's a rookie. He's got experience overseas, but he's still a rookie. You still have Thad Young, but without knowing exactly what's going on with Thad Young, it's hard to even guess what the team's doing right now on that front court rotation. I mean, you still have Zach Collins who can come back maybe January, February.
Yeah, the earliest January, February, but they've been so quiet. I mean, what the plans are, we don't really know what the plans are this year with the Spurs. It's been Pop's been kind of quiet. We haven't heard a lot from RC. So I really still trying to figure out. Maybe they're trying to figure out as well. What is our identity? What is the best lineups that we could put on the floor? And I think that's something that's still going to take time. But I still see them being a competitive team because, hey, they're the San Antonio Spurs and they give it all. They give their all, 48 minutes a night.
Derek Gervin, Rudy Campos Jr., Shmile on the Beats, Stats and Galler behind the glass, coming to you Sweep the League from 9:30 a.m. The Answer, sponsored by United Collision Care Center and Project Spurs. Spurs fans, Derek, another thing, and I was actually going to bring this up. I'm going to save it for the Cheeseman next segment because we're going to do that, the Cheeseman part. But there is a player that a lot of Spurs fans that I've seen are really concerned with, and that's the Cheeseman part. We're going to talk about him come the next segment here. But right now, can you see this team gel in the next couple of months? I mean, originally you said it was over 30 wins, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I did.
I was saying 28. I said 28, and I was it's the low end, I guess, but I felt safer at 28 wins. It's still early, but does this team gel, do you feel, towards the middle of the season to get that 30 plus wins for this year? It's kind of a question that I've seen a lot, behind the scenes and a lot of guys that I've talked to. And that's kind of what I'm wondering now as far as the Spurs team. I don't want to lead the fans to believe that this team's going to, all of a sudden turn a corner and they're going to go on a 10-game winning streak and all this. I don't see that at all. I don't see it at all.
Neither do I. I'm actually getting closer to your pick of 28 to 30 wins. I'm still trying to see who's going to be that go-to guy. And until they figure that out, that's a big issue for me. Who is your number one player when the bright lights are on? Who is that guy that's going to get the last shot? Is it Doug McDermott? Is it DeJounte Murray? Until those questions are answered, until that question is answered, we're still up in the air as far as where the Spurs stand. But right now, I'm starting to look more towards that 30 wins, like you said, because it's not because the Spurs aren't a good team. It's just that, man, the West is really, really tough. It is really, really tough. And it doesn't make you a bad team not to be in the top 5 or 6. It's just, at this point, can the Spurs make the play-in game? That would be great for me. I think if they could do that, Pop would be in the Coach of the Year voting. And I really mean that. That's how tough the West is.
Yeah, I can probably say it'd be a successful season if they make the play-in game. Coming back after the break here, Spurs Cheeseman coming up. We've got to talk about one player who I saw across social media being questioned, and it's kind of weird because this guy should have never been questioned on the Spurs roster, but he got questioned. So you know what? We'll bring it up in the Cheeseman section of Sweep the League here. United Collision Care Center, Project Spurs, proud sponsors of Sweep the League. Guys, this show's going fast. I know why. Because Shemaiah wants to show off his costume and get out there, trick and treat, do all he wants. Derek Gervin, Rudy Campos Jr., the guys behind the glass. Shemaiah on the beats. Shemaiah Calvin Johnson on the beats. Sweep the League Radio. Coming back with Spurs, Cheeseman, and a lot more. World Series talk, NFL talk. Cowboys are playing. Update coming next as well. We'll be back.
Sweep the League.
All you music heads out there, from punk to metal to indie, the Chuck Van Show plays the best in real local music from San Antonio and around Texas. Real new music you're not hearing anywhere else. Sundays at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on modsnapradio.com. It's the Chuck Vance Show.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I'm Mark the MC, and you are listening to Sweep the League Radio. Before we get back to the show, here's a message from I Am Refocused.
I'm focused, man. Focused.
IamRefocusedRadio.com are proud friends of Sweep the League Radio. With new interviews each week, we are looking for special guests. Do you have a story? Are you an athlete, music artist, business owner? Visit IamRefocusedRadio.com today and send us a message. Now, back to Sweep the League Radio.
Spurs season isn't just 82 games, but year-round. That's why you need to make sure you have the best coverage around at all times. Project Spurs provides you with the most in-depth Spurs coverage all day, every day. Articles, analysis, and live game coverage provided by some of the best journalists in the business. Need more? Listen to the Spurs Cast with Paul Garcia for even more Spurs-related news and notes. Visit ProjectSpurs.com for all the latest Spurs information, or follow them on social media. Twitter is at Project Spurs, or just search for Project Spurs on Facebook and Instagram. Project Spurs, dominating Spurs coverage and proud sponsors of Sweep the League.
Hey guys, it's Sweep the League. You've been listening to Sweep the League. Be sure to follow us on all of our Twitters, at Shemaiah on the BT, at Sweep the League is myself. Why not go follow Chris Galler at official Mr. 300, or head over to the website, www.sweeptheleague.com. Again, Sweep the League Radio.
You are listening to Sweep the League Radio.
Happy Halloween, Gizmo Campos, Calvin Johnson, the watered down version of Calvin Johnson, Shemaiah on the beats, Derek Gervin in his pre-game San Antonio Spurs costume, and actually the guys behind the glass, Stats and Galler. One's dressed up as a Roadrunner fan. The other one is just in all gray. I don't know what he's going to be, so we'll just call him Gray, I guess.
He's the coach of me.
He's the coach. All right, so he's coach of the Lions. This is Sweep the League Radio.
I don't want to be the coach. The Lions.
This is Sweep the League Radio, brought to you by United Collision Care Center and Project Spurs. Well, guys, it's the fourth segment here. We all know what happens in the fourth segment. In the first hour, we've got Spurs Cheeseman coming up in 1 minute here. Let's get a quick update because the Cowboys are playing tonight. Derek, your Super Bowl team. Right. The Cowboys?
No, I didn't say that. I said I could see them getting
I knew
that.
he would get me. He would get me. Let's get an update here on the Cowboys game tonight.
Hey. So here's the update. The Vikings currently lead the Cowboys 7-0.
7-0 for fantasy purposes, guys. Who scored?
Thielen.
Adam Thielen.
Okay, more than a Thielen. He's actually on one of my fantasy teams.
And just an update, they did miss a field goal, the Dallas Cowboys.
And I've got they did miss a field goal.
Yeah, they missed a field goal. It was, I think, 30. But I got an update on the World Series game.
World Series update. Give me the update real quick here.
Adam Duvall grand slam.
Wow.
In the bottom of the first.
Wow. So we're talking what, 4-0?
4-0, top of the second.
That Astros pick is not looking good, Derek. Not looking good.
We're
gonna blame Galler on that because he told us to take the Astros on that. I remember.
I said Astros in 5.
He said Astros in 5.
But what do I know?
Yeah, that's why you're behind the glass.
I don't know baseball. I don't watch baseball.
You're in the corner behind the glass there. All right, guys. Thanks for the update. All right, Shemaya, it's Spurs Cheeseman time. Let's get it going here, buddy.
So, like, I hear about the Spurs this y Spurs that, y como que esto y esta, pero I never hear about the real Spurs Cheeseman. Dime, por favor.
All right, Derek. Spurs Cheeseman is this across social media, mainly Twitter, because Spurs Twitter is a viable thing. It's real out there. Derek White has been not come under fire per se, but people are starting to question what the hell is wrong with Derek White. They are saying that his numbers are down. He doesn't look good. It's not the same Derek. Yeah, he takes a charge here and there, but it's not the player that everyone is expecting him to be right now. He's had better years. He's not having that year now. Obviously, the Cheeseman is Derek White. That is what we're going to talk about now because social media is questioning, is Derek White a part of the Spurs' future now? I saw that a couple of times. How do you go from Derek White being one of the best players on the team to a couple of people out there saying, should we even have Derek White on the team with DeJounte starting to emerge?
Well, Derek has been injured, I believe, the last couple of years. He's been having a little nagging injuries, and as we know, that can affect you in many ways, especially an organization that is trying that has specific goals. And when you look at Derek White, I think he's a very good player. I thought that would be a good backcourt with him and DeJounte. But if you look at it, they're very similar players. They play very good defense. Neither one of them are a great scorer. So I don't know if they're too much the same, or why do you need two guys that are the same? And I started looking at it last year, them moving Derek White, to be honest. And I don't think it's just because of his play. I don't think he's an erratic guy. But when you have two guys that are very similar and then one of them starts getting injuries, you have to look at possibly making a move. So if you be honest about it, I said they had a big backcourt. I could see Lonnie being in a trade deal. I could see Derek White being in a trade deal, and Thaddeus Young. I could see the three of them being moved for a potentially really good player out there. So we have to sit by and see what happens.
Yeah, you're adding more fuel to that Cheeseman fire on social media because, like I said, they've kind of started questioning Derek on all this. And it kind of affects me in a way because I always felt Derek was the better player over DeJounte overall. But then again, starting to see again the beginning of the season, DeJounte's playing amazing ball right now. Derek is struggling a little bit. Then what if it flip-flops? Derek becomes, the player that he was before. DeJounte kind of takes a little step back. It's a really hard thing to go through with this team because those two guys, like you said, very similar. I mean, similar styles. I think Derek is the better defender, can we say?
Yeah, you could say it's close, but I think DeJounte has better leadership skills, qualities. I think Pop is really high on DeJounte Murray. I think the NBA is high on DeJounte Murray, and that's why I think the Spurs wouldn't try to move him. I think he has people think he has a very high ceiling, and the guy is young. He's relentless, and if you look at it, if it came down to which guy would you take for your team, DeJounte or Derek White, then you start factoring in the injuries and the leadership. The leadership is the reason I would take DeJounte Murray. I think his future is still bright.
You're really making me eat my words from the beginning of the year when I said there was no leader on this team. And I'm starting to see how DeJounte is becoming that leader that the Spurs are hoping that he does become. So I apologize again. I don't apologize all the time. I don't apologize for anything, but I do apologize for that. Shemaya knows because him and I got into a spat on another show previously because he took Whataburger over Burger Boy. And I already told him if he ever does that again, he's out the door, and I'm not bringing him back. That's it. This is his only chance here. So it's Burger Boy for life. We've got an update, Derek. Hopefully it's a good update, but like a Chihuahua, Galler is basically biting on my pants over here saying, I've got an update. What is this update you got for us, Galler?
So as we were talking and as we finished that, Houston scored. And now since then, they've scored twice. So it's 4-2, 2 outs, 1 on third, and I think it's like a full count or something like that. So
the Astros scored 2, so it's 4-2.
4-2.
Cut the lead in half.
Top of the second.
Our pick is looking pretty good right now, Derek. Maybe. We got to take it in 7. You and I said 6.
The bullpen is already warming up. Oh, I'm sorry. Not supposed to call it bullpen anymore, right? They want arm barn. Arm barn. I think that's what I read somewhere.
It's something like
PETA.
that.
Yeah. Braves are already warming up in the bullpen.
You guys know you can never count the Astros out, though, because they're the best 9th inning team in the league with 2 outs.
They are.
So you can never count them out. So I'm going to keep saying go Astros.
So it's going to take, obviously, an Astros win to stay alive in the World Series. But Astros get the win tonight. They come back to Houston. Does that make it that much more possible?
Wow.
Because the Braves are good. Let's not lie.
It's going to be hard to win 3 games in a row, but that's why you take it 1 game at a time. You got to get the first one tonight and then see what happens. Even going back home is no guarantee that you're going to get a championship just because you're playing at home. So you have to just tune in and you have to focus. You have to have your total focus on winning tonight's game and then getting your rest and then getting prepared for the next game. And that's all you can do. And just give it the best shot and see what happens. Let the chips fall where they may.
Astros win means the wife is happy. So come on, Astros. I need you to win so I can go home and I won't be put on dishes duty or take out the trash duty and all that other stuff that I've got to do before I actually go to bed. So come on, Astros. Get us that victory for sure. For sure.
At least you're not going for Detroit, man. Because if that was the case, you'd be out of luck, man.
Okay. I did say this in the pregame, and we're going to get into this in the second hour. I have some news that I've got to share with everybody here. I know all 50 million people listening to Sweep the League right now. I'm going to get a lot of text messages, and I'm going to get a lot of DMs probably, Derek. So you're going to have to help me on this, you and Shemaya. But I am, after today, after my Sports Sunday, I am contemplating going through the Big D. And when we come back from our long commercial break here, that is divorce. I'm contemplating divorce. And you're going to understand why when we get back, because I can't take it no more. I'm done. And I'm going to let y'all know why. I'm going to spill the beans. I'm going to spill the personal chisme on why this has come across my mind. You're giving me that look like, oh my God, you're going to have to come to my house and sleep in my house. It's not that bad. We're going to get into it here in the second hour. High School Athlete of the Week. Brandon's going to be on second segment. Give us High School Athlete of the Week. Plenty more to talk about. Scariest moment in sports history. Scariest players Derek and me have ever played against. He's played against more than I have. Shemaya, Derek, Rudy, guys behind the glass. Divorce talk coming up. Derek, hope you can talk me off the ledge. Sweep the League. We'll be back.
The city of San Antonio.
Locked On Spurs gives you in-depth access to your local San Antonio Spurs team 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Jeff Garcia brings you multiple weekly episodes to include the ever so popular fan episode, giving you the fans' perspective. Download all past or present episodes of Locked On Spurs on all streaming platforms. Get locked in today with Locked On Spurs.
You are listening to Sweep the League Radio.
The Profits Podcast dives deep into sports with your hosts, Kevin and Rashad. The guys deliver multiple aspects of all the sports we love, including Kev's reasons as to why you never pay a running back. Always a great time to be had on the Profits Podcast. Don't waste your time trying to predict the future of sports. Allow the real profits to do it for you on the Profits Podcast.
You are listening to Sweep the League Radio.
Are you looking for the most in-depth coverage of your Spurs teams? Project Spurs provides news and notes whether it's your San Antonio Spurs or the Austin Spurs. Amazing player analysis, game-by-game coverage, breaking news and articles. Project Spurs will be your first source each time. Also, listen to the Spurs Cast, the first Spurs podcast with Paul Garcia, to give you even more news and notes regarding your hometown Spurs. Michael and his staff make it a mission to provide you with everything you need to make you part of the action. Head over to ProjectSpurs.com or follow them across all social media platforms. Just search Project Spurs, proud sponsors of Sweep the League.
You've been listening to Sweep the League Radio. Follow us on Twitter at Sweep the League. Shemaya is at Shemaya on the BT. Or what about Chris Geller at Official Mr. 300? Sweep the League Radio, sponsored by Project Spurs, the United Collision Care Center. If you want to go visit them, you can also visit us at www.sweeptheleague.com.
Hi, I'm Tiffany, host of On the Record with Tiffany. I'm a mom, businesswoman, and healthcare advocate. We provide a space where we discuss business and healthcare transformations and the heroes that fuel both. I'm inviting you to listen in on the conversations with me and my guests that will occur every Thursday night at 8 p.m. on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
To some, a baby's babbling doesn't mean much, but it does. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
News stories from around the world and how they affect you all day, every day. Told by the most trusted names in conservative talk. Listen live anytime using our mobile app through TuneIn, iHeart, or Odyssey.com. This is 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Breaking news, stimulating talk. This is 9:30 a.m. The Answer, a division of Salem Media Group on the NASDAQ as SALM. KLUP, Terrell Hills, San Antonio.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jason Walker. President Biden wrapping up his time at the Group of 20 summit in Rome, trying to convince Americans and the world that he's got everything under control. If only Russia, China, and Saudi Arabia would get on board. The president says the new legislative framework congressional Democrats are considering, along with the infrastructure bill, makes significant investments in addressing climate change.
Combined, they have $900 billion in climate resistance and dealing with climate and resilience. And it's the largest investment in the history of the world that's ever occurred. And it's going to pass.
In Virginia, quite a battle shaping up between Democrat Terry McAuliffe and Republican newcomer Glenn Youngkin, both making last-minute pushes Sunday to energize voters across the state in the final days before the Tuesday election. Also at townhall.com, University of Florida challenging a new law that critics claim restricts voting rights.
The school says allowing 3 professors to take the stand would go against the school's interest by conflicting with the administration of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Though the decision is being criticized as a threat to academic freedom and free speech, the university says allowing the educators to serve as paid experts for plaintiffs challenging the law would be, quote, adverse to the university's interests as a state of Florida institution. Ron DeRockster reporting.
Government officials say at least 1 person died. Another 13, though, were pulled from the Pacific Ocean after a large group attempted to cross the U.S.-Mexico border by swimming around a barrier in San Diego. Border agents notified 70 people tried to swim from Tijuana into the United States at the Borderfield State Park. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Dr. Gorka here, and I want to talk to you for a minute about 100% drug-free Relief Factor. I've been taking Relief Factor for years now to help me deal with pain in my body. My wife takes it as well. The reason we tell everyone we know about it is simple. We found it really works to help our bodies fight off the inflammation that causes aches and pains. Whether it's the pain of injuries you've sustained or just the natural pains from the mileage over the years, Relief Factor can help. I've never looked back. Almost 70% of the more than 500,000 people who have tried Relief Factor end up ordering more. That's because it works for them the way it works for me. Isn't it time for you to get out of pain? Your first step to becoming pain-free should be to order the 3-week quick start for the discounted price of only $19.95. Go to relieffactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF to find out more about this offer. That's relieffactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. Feel the difference.
Join combat veteran and alt historian Tony Arterburn Friday nights at 8 p.m. for the Arterburn radio transmission. Weapons-grade truth and cutting-edge conservative talk. Right here on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
The turkey comes and the turkey goes. It all happens pretty quickly. What remains is one important person, and their appreciation for the simple fact you sent a Thanksgiving e-card from crosscards.com. It's free for you, it's easy, and it leaves the recipient thankful. Express the spirit of thanks in a way that really matters to someone who really matters to you. Free Thanksgiving e-cards from crosscards.com.
The world is constantly changing, but your home for San Antonio's most trusted names in conservative talk is still the same. Listen live on Alexa with our mobile app or through TuneIn, iHeart, or Odyssey.com. This is 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Portions of this hour's programming may be pre-recorded. Sweep the League, sponsored by Sweep the League Radio on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
For those of y'all joining us on the live stream, I'm showing off the new Sweep the League mug. So if you want one, contact us. Sweep the League mug. They're pretty slick. I like these, but apparently I can't drink out of it because it was freshly made. And Galler said that if I did, I would get poisoned. So I think that's some scary stuff right there. So I'm not going to drink from it. I guarantee you it's safe once we make it for you. Once it's made for you, it's guaranteed to be safe. But for whatever reason, they gave me the poison version of the Sweep the League mug. This is Sweep the League. Rudy Campos Jr., Gizmo Campos, Derek, Basketball Man Gervin, Shemaya, Poor Man Calvin Johnson on the beat.
He took my jersey, by the way. I had to change shirts, so I'm finally on the stream. But yeah,
you're on the stream, but you're not showing your camera because I understand. No, Derek's going to slap me across my head when I say nobody wants to be associated with the Lions right now, but I do. I'm a Barry Sanders fan. I love Barry Sanders. Stats and Galler behind the glass are going to give us an update here in just a little bit. We've got High School Athlete of the Week coming second segment. Brandon will be on the line. Guys, man, it's already hour 2. I mean, we went through the first hour and we still got a lot. Scariest moments in sports. We're talking what? The Munich Olympics. We're talking Malice the Palace, the earthquake, where the earthquake when it was San Francisco and Oakland. We're also getting into the scariest players to play against. Now, Derek obviously played against some really bad people back in the day. I didn't play against very many scary guys, but if I had to pick a couple, I'm going to pick a few of them just, out of my own thought process here. But before we left, man, such a sad day. And I probably should have told Shamar before the show because he would have queued up the sad music, but I didn't because it's a sad day for me. I am going through a possible divorce, and not a divorce off of marriage for everybody that's wondering, because my wife probably is blowing up my phone and I haven't checked yet. She's like, I didn't know about this. No, not like that. I'm going through a possible sports divorce because the Atlanta Falcons lost again to the Carolina Panthers. And I get laughed at by the poor man's Calvin Johnson over here. All right, Derek. I've been a Falcon fan since the days of Andre Bad Moon Rising, Sean Jefferson, who I have a jersey of, Chris Chandler, even the darn days of Jeff George, Jerry Glanville. I mean, we're talking back in the day. My dad was a huge Tommy Nobis fan who locally played for Thomas Jefferson, Mr. Falcon himself. I'm struggling with this. Is there any reason for me to continue to be a Falcon fan, or should I just sign the divorce papers tomorrow morning down at the Bexar County Courthouse?
Well, I'll say Jamal Anderson's not going to walk in that door anytime soon. So, I don't know. I think the Falcons have been competitive, it's going to be interesting to see what happens now when you lose one of your top players, but I'll let you get to that shortly. But I like the Falcons. I know they had some rough luck a few years ago. They couldn't complete the deal. So I hope a lot of fans didn't give up on them. They made it to the Super Bowl. I think they'll restock. They're right now in the process of restocking their team, and I see them being very competitive again in the very near future.
Apparently, the guys behind the glass are wanting to talk me off the ledge here, and I'm going to give them a chance. I want to give them a chance to talk me off the ledge here because as of right now, I've got the caps off the pin. I've got the paperwork in front of me. I'm ready to sign the paperwork. Mark apparently, or Stats back there, apparently has some reasons for me to stay a Falcon fan. What is it? What do you guys got?
Well, I'm not sure if they're stats that'll want to make you stay a Falcons
See, there's
fan,
no
but
reason to do it.
I got stats from today's game, Rudy.
Really? You're going to give me stats from a game that we lost? You couldn't give me any type of positivity.
There are some positives, Rudy. So 146.
You can't even do it with
Ryan.
a straight face.
We got 2 INTs. It's not 3, right? So
So basically, I should just cash in on the divorce here, give Atlanta Falcons half of what I make and everything like that, right? That's what you're telling me.
Well, here's the thing, Rudy. So I know we just made fun of them here, but stick with it, Rudy. Stay with those Falcons because I've been a longtime Buffalo Bills fan.
Okay, all right. Well,
we turned around. I'll put it that way. And if the Bills can, so can your Falcons.
I'm kind of touched by that. I kind of feel that. I think I guess maybe one more week, but something happened today in Atlanta that made it a little bit tougher. And all joking aside, Calvin Ridley came out and he did post on social media today. He's basically taking a break from football right now. And what Calvin really did was these past few weeks have been very challenging. And as much as I'd like to be on the field competing with my teammates, I need to step away from football at this time and focus on my mental well-being. This will help me be the best version of myself now and in the future. I want to thank my teammates, the entire Atlanta Falcons organization, our great fans, my friends, and my family for all their support during this time. So Calvin Ridley is kind of walking away from the game for right now. Mental issues, not in a bad way, but the well-being for him, his mentality. We've seen this already multiple times in other sports. I understand it, and this is where I've said I'm blessed to have you as a host with me because a lot of us don't have that knowledge of mentality as being a professional athlete. So with Calvin Ridley coming out, I feel for him. I understand, a little bit of what he's going through, but you being a professional athlete, Derek, how does being a professional athlete really get you to this point of saying, I've got to take a break? Because we're seeing it a lot more now.
Wow. I'm going to bring up an NBA player that came out a while back, and it seems like that has been like a domino effect. Kevin Love had mentioned that he was having problems dealing with a lot of issues. And what people have to understand is I know these guys make a lot of money, but, you go through a lot. There's a lot of pressure on you. Some of these guys, as you know, support their families. And I'm not talking about their immediate family. I'm talking about you got your parents, your moms, and your cousins, and everyone wants a piece of the pie. And it can get overwhelming at times. You deal with a lot behind the scenes when you're with your coaches and your general manager, your organization. And a lot of times, a lot of guys, man, you get to the point where you feel like you're alone. You don't have anyone to talk to. And just sometimes you just feel like you're reaching the point where you become unhappy. And that's something that money can't really fix. And whatever his issues are that's going on right now, I'm going to be very supportive of him, not only as a former athlete, but just as a human being. I hope he can get all his issues worked out. And if he continues to want to play football, I'm sure he'll come back and do the best that he can and give his all to the city of Atlanta. But yeah, it's a lot sometimes to stomach some of the things that go on when you're dealing with money and dealing with your career, especially in the public limelight, in the limelight.
Is it always something too? Because back, say when you were playing ball, and I mean even 90 era, early 2000s, we didn't really see a lot of it, and it really wasn't showcased. But I'm sure there was a lot of athletes that felt the same way that just never came out. More than likely is what we're thinking.
You have a lot of guys. It was surprising to me. You had a lot of players that behind the scenes, they didn't feel like they were having their needs met. They loved playing sports, but there were some other things that were missing. And, it gets hard. You play a lot of games. I know football, they start practice, I believe, on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go from Wednesday to Sunday, and then the next week it starts all over. But a lot of these players don't have, like I would say, mentors, guys that they can reach out to, or ladies that they can reach out to. So sometimes they keep things internally. They don't bring them out. And for him to come out and admit that he needed some time away, I can only respect that and just wish him the best. And I wish the team the best as well.
Yeah, prayers out to Calvin Ridley on that. Hope you come back soon. Derek Gervin, Shemai on the Beats, Rudy Campos Jr., guys behind the glass. This is Sweep the League. We'll be right back, guys.
United Collision Care Center, official sponsor of Sweep the League, specializes in body paint, frame, and mechanical services from light cosmetic repairs to heavy collision hits, as well as fleet maintenance. All technicians are platinum certified by ICAR, the top training organization in the collision industry. Quality and customer service are what their business ethics are based on. Trust is the hardest thing to build and the easiest thing to lose. So let's build a mutual relationship that starts with trust and a peace of mind. Contact Lewis and his staff today, 210-595-6413, or visit them at 6575 Rat Road.
You've been listening to Sweep the League Radio. Follow us on Twitter at Sweep the League. Shemaya is at Shemaya on the BT. Or what about Chris Galler at Official Mr. 300? Sweep the League Radio, sponsored by Project Spurs, the United Collision Care Center. If you want to go visit them, you can also visit us at www.sweeptheleague.com.
This is a Hot Pie Original.
Hey, what's up? I'm Chad Fisher.
And I'm Tony Farmer.
And we're teaming up to bring you the DNPCD Sports Podcast.
We'll be bringing you unique interviews with some of the top names in sports.
Tony is a contributor for Sports Illustrated's SI.com, and he's a nutrition coach.
And Chad is a comedian and former sports writer.
We talk to the sports stars you know about the stories you don't know about.
And we don't ask cliche questions, so we don't get cliche answers.
So you'll get to know some of your favorite athletes on a completely different level.
DNPCD is a sports podcast with a little bit of comedy and thought-provoking interviews, brought to you by Hot Pie Media.
Hey guys, it's Sweep the League. You've been listening to Sweep the League. Be sure to follow us on all of our Twitters, at Shemaya on the BT, at Sweep the League is myself. Why not go follow Chris Galler at Official Mr. 300, or head over to the website, www.sweeptheleague.com. Again, Sweep the League Radio. Happy Halloween. Sweep the League Radio here at 9:30 a.m. The Answer, the 12th floor. Too bad it's not a 13th floor. I hope that's unlucky. So, yeah, Shemaya gave me that look like, don't you mention that again. Derek Gervin, Gizmo Campos, Shemaya on the Beats, Stats and Galler behind the glass. Hour number 2, segment number 2. We're not going to waste any time. Let's get him on the show right now. It's time for our high school athlete of the week with Brandon. Brandon, let's go, buddy.
What's good? What's good?
What do you got for us, Brandon?
What's good, guys? Hey, this week I have got the top quarterback for the class of 2023. He is Ashton DeBose, quarterback for Brennan. This past weekend against Holmes, he went 15 for 21 for 333 yards, breaking his own school record, throwing 4 touchdowns, had 7 carries for an additional 97 yards and another touchdown in Brennan's 55-3 win over Holmes. So, beautiful. Ashton DeBose, you are the Sweep the League High School Player of the Week.
Awesome. Congratulations, Ashton DeBose. You are the Sweep the League High School Athlete of the Week. Thank you, Brandon. I've got a question for you before you go, but before I get to
I've got a comment for you.
Every time Brandon gives me comments, I get grilled horribly on this. But real quick, you can go listen to Brandon's podcast. Great podcast, Along the Wire. He releases his high school rankings every week. Proud to say that those buttons are still up in the top 10, moving on up.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So let's see. Shemaya, real quick, do you want the comment from Brandon or do you want me to ask him the question first?
I'm very interested in the comment
So
now.
am
I
I.
want to see what's going on.
All right. Give me the comment, Brandon. Give me that comment.
2 things. I divorced my Texans, and I've been great.
Oh, man.
And and exactly like you were talking about Ridley stepping back. Hey, you got to realize that these athletes are dealing with stuff and pressures from the time they're in middle school and high school in like some of these cases. So if they're at a point when they are monetarily stable or they feel like they're at a spot where they can just take some time for themselves and then come back, then I'm all for that, man. Because it's been too many cases in which some of the greats before him haven't had that opportunity or even that chance or avenue of getting that type of support. And then you see things happen later on in their lives. So if anything can prevent that, then, hey, I'm all for it.
I agree, man. The Ridley situation is so tough. And Derek and I were talking about it. We're going to actually talk about it a little bit here more in depth about the Ridley situation because this isn't the first time we've heard it. It's been a couple of times with other athletes that we've seen it happen already before. But I want to get your opinion on something here because birds up, man. I mean, the news coming out, birds up, number 16 in the AP. Coach Traylor signing that 10-year deal, $28 million overall. As a guy that does cover UTSA football, Brandon, what is your thoughts on that? How big is this for the Roadrunners, especially going into another conference here?
This is incredible. I don't think they could have given this contract to a better coach, a better guy. This guy's been genuine through and through. I don't think there's anybody who's more deserving and fits the personality of the city of San Antonio. And I mean, he's a culture builder and he's a cultivator, and everybody loves him and everybody appreciates him. And what I kind of see this as a remnants of is when Bobby Bowden took over at FSU, because FSU wasn't a big powerhouse, but then you get somebody to come in and they can cultivate some stuff and get them moving in the right way, and you start building up within the state, like he's building up within the city, and then it reaches out and you have a powerhouse. And I think that's what Coach Traylor can definitely do.
We are echoing the same thing Brandon is saying here. It's a great move. Like I said, especially going into another conference, a bigger conference, kind of have more recognition. That brand's going to just continue to grow. Why not have the hottest coach right now in the NCAA's, Jeff Traylor, a part of the ride? That is absolutely what UTSA and the city of San Antonio needs. Brandon, I appreciate you, and I'm sorry you divorced your Texans, but I think I'm gonna ride that with you. Maybe I might go one more week and say, you know what, I'm gonna take the ring off this week, and if you don't come through next week, then I'm gonna have to leave it off. So I might have to echo again those sentiments from you as far as divorce goes in the NFL team, man. But I appreciate you giving us a call every single week. We will definitely have you on next week for sure again, Brandon.
Already, y'all be good, guys.
All right, have a good one.
All right, buddy. Now, Derek, going back to, and also real quick, give us a call, 210-308-8867, Project Spurs hotline. We're still playing games here. We're probably going to do sports trivia between me and Derek one-on-one. He's going to go one-on-one with the great one, Ravishing Rudy Campos. Who's going to win that battle? We're both going to UTSA football, but I mean, we can still try to battle against us here. Maybe what the winner will do is make the loser buy Shemaya a better shirt. That probably is the best thing to do.
I'm loving that shirt, man. You guys are hard on my Lions, man.
Oh, my God. All right, so getting back to it, Calvin Ridley situation. We were talking over the break. It's a tough situation, but one thing that athletes have now that you didn't have back then. Because you were a player for the New Jersey Nets, and also me watching a bunch of sports, everybody else didn't have social media. You didn't have, when you played the game, the worst thing you probably had was hecklers in the crowd. And a lot of times you can tune that out. You don't have to worry about that. This day and age, you have a heckler in the crowd. Players seem to notice it and respond to it. Now you've got social media. So you have 1 million followers. And out of those million, if you're having a bad season, 700,000 are probably coming after you. And that's got to take a toll. So with social media, can we say that's one of the main issues that drives some athletes to say, I need a break from everything because I can't take that no more?
I'm trying to understand why some of these guys even get on social media. That is not a place for the sensitive people. I mean, you shouldn't even be. Well, I guess it's hard for me to say you shouldn't, but some of the guys I know they shouldn't be on social media because they take everything. They very sensitive about every single thing. We have guys like Kevin Durant. They seem to embrace when people write things that they don't like, and then they respond, and however many characters they respond in, and then you have your other guys that I don't think can really handle the negativity. I look at the Ben Simmons situation, and I was drafted by Philadelphia, and I know that that's a very tough place to play. If you don't play well, it's a lot of times guys want to go out and eat dinner, and you want to go out and eat with your families after a game. And sometimes, sad to say, that's not always a good thing because you're going to have people out there, the naysayers, they're going to always try to egg you on. And that's something that the players have to deal with on, 7 days a week. So my suggestion would be for some of these guys, if you're going to be on these social media sites, don't be so sensitive. People, you can't take everything. Some things you got to just take with a grain of salt. And, as far as dealing with the mental issues, I feel for every player, whether it be male or female, that's ever played sports, not just professional sports, but I know that social media is not for everyone. And hopefully these guys can figure it out, what's going on in their lives, and they can do better and come back and help their organizations.
That's probably why you're not on Twitter, right?
No, I don't.
We've been trying to get you on Twitter, but I'm gonna say no. Don't get on it. It's brutal, man. Twitter can be brutal. Social media in general is brutal. I would love to take breaks from it every now and then because it's exhausting. It really can. You're the best athlete at your school. You're number one. You're a top lottery pick in the NBA. You're a top 10 pick in the NFL. You're drafted number 1 in baseball. So many expectations. It's easy to say, and it's easy to go back and fact check it. A lot of guys that get drafted high don't turn out to be mega superstars. Don't turn out to be superstars. Some don't even turn out to be all-stars half the time. One of the greatest college basketball players of all time, and I hate saying that because you go into Duke, Christian Laettner is a perfect example. I mean, top-notch, probably the best college basketball player ever. And didn't really do anything. He had 1 all-star season in the NBA. So social media, imagine if Christian had social media back then. I mean, and he's a loudmouth too. He doesn't stand back and take it. He talks back. Imagine a guy like him having social media back then. I could only imagine the fires that would be going on, and a lot of coaches trying to put those fires out, and that's not good. But speaking of fires, there is an update now from the guys behind the glass because apparently there's fire going on in this World Series game. What do we got, guys?
Yeah. So it is now 4-4 Astros and Braves.
Wow.
Also, the real quick, the game to the football is still 7-3 Vikings. And then I just got an update right here that Kevin Durant has been ejected for a flagrant 2 foul for hitting Kelly Olynyk in the head with an elbow. So he's been ejected.
There we go. We got the guys behind the glass giving us the updates. Stros tying the game 4-4. Cowboys 7-3 with the Vikings. And KD ejected. One of the guys that you and I have been talking about being
Mr. Sensitive.
Sensitive right there, getting ejected for elbowing Kelly Olynyk in the head. Well, we need to go to commercial because if not, Derek's going to elbow me in the head here. He's giving me that look like we need to get to commercial. Never he says that. Shemai also said he'd never wear a bad t-shirt in his life, but he did. Derek Gervin, Shemai on the Beats, Rudy Campos Jr., guys behind the glass, Sweep the League, United Collision Care Center, Project Spurs. We'll be back.
KD's headed straight to Twitter.
Don't let the stress of getting into an accident keep you down. Contact United Collision Care Center, where Lewis and his certified technicians will get you back on the road in no time. They're a 5-star company with over 270 reviews on carwise.com. Quality and customer service are what separate them from the rest, making them the best. Specializing in body, paint, frame, and mechanical services, from light cosmetic repairs to heavy collision hits, United Collision Care Center does it all. Contact them today at 210-595-6413 or visit their shop at 6575 Pratt Road. Again, that's United Collision Care Center, the best in the business and official sponsor of Sweep the League.
You've been listening to Sweep the League Radio. Follow us on Twitter at Sweep the League. Shemaya is at Shemaya on the BT. Or what about Chris Geller at official Mr. 300? Sweep the League Radio, sponsored by Project Spurs, the United Collision Care Center. If you want to go visit them, you can also visit us at www.sweeptheleague.com. Two Shots Podcast is a fun-filled extravaganza bringing you into the world of sports and entertainment. Joe Garcia and the staff keep you updated on Spurs, combat sports, Dallas Cowboys, and my favorite, everything in Nerdville like Marvel and DC. Head to the line for Two Shots, as in Two Shots Podcast, available across all streaming platforms. No sport is bigger than football here in the Lone Star State. High school football is king on Friday nights, so listening to Along the Wire with B. Damone is a must. Brandon brings you all the latest news and notes, as well as rankings for our local high school football teams here in San Antonio. Cue up the band, get comfortable in your bleacher seat, and tune in for the best high school coverage around with Along the Wire.
You know what the difference is between you and me? I make this look good.
At farm equipment maker Deere and Company would get wage increases of 10% if they ratify a tentative contract that was reached over the weekend. Now, the upfront pay would be followed by 5% hikes in pay in the third and fifth years of the tentative deal. The agreement next goes to a vote of union members. Wrapping up the G20 summit today in Rome, President Biden claims he has everything under control on supply chains. He says he has plans to make the ports run better. This is SRN News.
The Answer.
It is Halloween. We are sweeping the league. It is Gizmo Campos. I had to take this off because I am sweating in this thing. This is too much fur. I've never worn a fur jacket in my life. So now I know what it feels like. Derek Gervin, Shemaya on the Beats, guys behind the glass, Stats and Galler. We were talking about football right now a little while ago, about the Cowboys. You asked me, if the Cowboys lose, does this affect Dak's MVP season or mentioned in this season? I say, yeah, man.
Does it enhance his MVP? Put it in the consideration. Does this move him up? Because I already have him number 2.
Man, but does it affect him if he doesn't play?
Well,
because I mean, he's not playing tonight.
With him, they're a juggernaut. Without him, we have Cooper Rush.
So basically, what we're saying is he's the MVP because without him, they're no good. With him, it's win or nothing, basically. With him, they win. Without him, they don't. I can understand that. Who do you have number one?
Kyler Murray. I have to. I'm not a big Kyler Murray fan, but I have to go by what I've seen so far. That's the team.
Even after the bad game he had?
Well, they're still doing well. They had a bad game, but other than that, how many have they won? So that's today. I'm glad you said that. In society today, now you know what the athletes go through. They love you one week. If you have an off week, it's like now they're ready to fire you, as you say, get divorced. So now you know what the players go through.
God, that word divorce is going to really be sticking with us the entire time now. This is Sweep the League, 9:30 a.m. The Answer, the 12th floor, right below the 13th floor. Shemai hates when I say 13th floor because it's unlucky. United Collision Care Center, Project Spurs, United Collision Care Center. Those guys will get you back on the road in no time. If you're in an accident, don't worry about it. Let them worry about all the stress. They'll get you back on the road fast, 100% guaranteed. Project Spurs, #1 Spurs coverage in all the land. San Antonio Spurs, Austin Spurs, even NBA Draft. They cover everything for your Spurs organization. That's Project Spurs. All right, man. We are at the moment here. Scariest sports moments and scariest players to play against. I was going to wait till segment 4 to bring this up, but Little Birdie told me you want to go one-on-one with the great one on sports trivia. I can't beat you in basketball. As much as I try to convince you that I can beat you in basketball because you're Manute Bol and I'm Muggsy Bogues, but I think I can score at least a basket. Wink, wink, definitely not. I can try to beat you at something, and that would be sports trivia, which I probably wouldn't even beat you at that. I might have to take it to the bowling alley where I can have an advantage somewhere.
I don't even think you'll have an advantage there.
Thank you, Galler, for that, because that's one of my biggest players to play against. Scariest is Chris Galler. I bowled against Chris a couple of times, and I'm done for, man. I'm done for. I can't beat him for anything. So,
well, let me tell you this quickly. When you speaking of bowling, I'm smart enough to stay in my lane.
Wow, he's dropping it on me. He's dropping it on me. All right, Derek, we're not going to bowl then. I want to play basketball, though. We got to play basketball. We're going to get into the one-on-one challenge after this. Guys, call us 210-308-8867 Project Spurs hotline. Next caller that calls in, we're going to let them choose you or me. If we win for that caller, we want to send him to UTSA, we'll send him to UTSA. We can do that. And next caller calls in, you choose between Derek or myself, whoever wins. If we win, you go to UTSA football if you pick the right guy. So we'll do that next caller here. First off, scariest sports moments for you. Now, for me, Malice in the Palace, Munich Olympics, the hostage situation that they had there. But in the United States, Malice in the Palace had to be the scariest sports moment for me because it involves the fans, man. Yeah, this was, I think back then, was it MySpace back then? I know we didn't have Twitter or Facebook wasn't popular back then.
MySpace was popular.
I think it was MySpace at the time. So you still had a little bit of social media, but I was out during that time and I didn't hear about it till I got back from out of town. I had to see it on SportsCenter, but that night, man, you have kids involved because there was kids in the stands, fans involved, players, coaches. I mean, for me, that sports moment was definitely the scariest for the people that were innocent. The fans, the kids, the wives, the moms, the women out there, even the guys that were just trying to enjoy the game. That turned into a brutal sports moment. If you got to comment on that, Derek, because I know, like I said, you've been through a couple of, probably situations like that, not exactly like that, but similar to that. You did play overseas where the fans they're tough. They throw everything at you.
They're tough.
Give me a sports moment that was scary for you, but also a little bit on the Malice in the Palace type thing, because I think we might end up more of that coming up here soon in these next few years in the NBA. It's possible.
For me, it was Malice at the Palace, and that's me being a Detroiter, and then you have some of these guys that were involved with Ben Wallace and Ron Artest. That was the scariest for me because it did roll over into the stands. And I'm one of those guys always thinking about what could happen. And you mentioned the kids that were there. It was just a bad situation overall. When you have to suspend players and suspend them for a long period of time, that was a black mark on the NBA. And it was something that I'll never get over because, it was my hometown. Well, right outside of Detroit, but still, for it to be so close to home and me being a former athlete, I have to tell you another scary moment for me.
Right.
In New Jersey, Charles Barkley had an incident with one of the fans, and he ended up spitting into the audience. That was at our game, and he spit on a 6-year-old girl. So thankfully, security was there, and that could have got pretty ugly. So I've been around a couple of situations that were scary. Vernon Maxwell went into the stands one time.
Portland, right?
Yes.
It's in
So,
Portland.
we've had, and of course, Russell Westbrook in Utah. So we've had some situations that could have gotten out of hand. But as we know, the Malice in the Palace really got out of hand. So that would be the one that would stick out for me over all the different sporting events.
Scariest players, Derek. Now, you've played against some of the scariest guys, I'm sure. I'm going to say for me, I've never played against these guys, but if I did, would I be standing here talking to you on the radio? Probably not. I know if I was to take on one of the scariest guys, Bill Laimbeer, when I was growing up, I don't know, man. I don't know what he would have done to me because that guy was a bad man, him and Mahorn. But as far as scary too, I also look at it as a positive thing because everyone says you want to play against Mike in the NBA. Obviously, that's the guy. But one guy that stands out to me as far as an NBA player, and I'm going to give you another player outside of the NBA, Kobe Bryant. I think having the opportunity to play against Kobe in a positive standpoint as the scariest player, the guy reminded me so much of Mike. He was a competitor. He was an amazing athlete. But I think when you look at the overall picture, Kobe was an amazing person. And he gave props to everybody. You know what? He was your enemy on the court, but he could be your best friend off the court. And I think playing against him, in, like I said, a very positive way, scariest player, because there's just no way you can defend him and come out upset at the end. It's like Mike, you kind of had a hatred for because he did have the look of like, okay, I'll look down a couple of times because problems he had with Zeke and a couple other players.
My brother as well. His name was in there
With George as well, yeah. So, but when you look at Kobe, similar player, similar style of game, but the way he was as a person, to me, it's like I said, the scariest player because there's no way I could have stopped him or anybody like that. But there's no way to stay mad at the guy. If he cooked you for 55, then you kind of went home and like, that's just Kobe, man. Props to him. For you, scariest players you ever played against, I got a feeling that a Piston might be on this list.
Well, not even a Piston. I have to mention the first guy. I think I've told you before. Man, when I found out I was going to be starting the next night, and we were playing the Boston Celtics, I won't say I had to take Tums or anything, but yeah, I had to get motivated to know that I'm going to be out there on the floor guarding Larry Bird. For me, that was the hardest job. I played against Jordan, played against Pippen, Shaq, a lot of those guys. Where Shaq, I think, was even not. No, Shaq wasn't in the league. Shaq was still a young guy. But I played against a lot of these players. But the scariest, I would say, would be Mike, because as you know, everyone. It's hard to describe. Everyone was afraid of Mike Jordan.
Yeah.
He was a guy that was great at exposing your weaknesses. And I would say that's the only player that if you were going to go out that night after, there was another game you were playing on a Wednesday, and then you had the Bulls on Friday, ordinarily you might want to go hang out on that Thursday prior to your Bulls game. But most guys found a way to get out of that hanging. That night was not a night to be hanging out. So dealing with Mike was tough, but I had to deal with Bird because I had to guard Bird for a longer period of time. And for me, that's, wow, talk about challenging. That's like dealing with a Magic Johnson, a Kobe, a Jordan, brain-wise.
Yeah.
And then he was 6'9", 265. So for me, it would definitely be number one would be Larry Bird.
Yeah, and I've told you before, Larry's one of my favorite players of all time. I mean, the guy, if you take away the back injuries and the injuries that he had, how close would he be to Mike as far as the greatest player to ever play the game?
He would be even top 5. I still have him up there, man, for sure, my top 10 all-time players. But what made him so scary is he's a guy that talked a lot of trash, but he backed it up. And that was something I had to get used to. I grew up with a brother that's a Hall of Famer, and George wasn't a talker. So dealing with Larry Bird was quite a challenge. The guy could play. He talked, and he walked the walk. So what can I say?
One of the best players to ever play the game, Larry Bird, man. I'm one guy that just stood back and was like, oh, I love watching Larry. I love watching Mike. I love watching these guys. But playing against them, I would have been barbecue.
You mentioned tough guys. Now, remember, I played with a guy, and rest in peace. That was one of my best friends, Anthony Mason.
Anthony Mason.
So you talk about guys like Anthony Mason and Charles Oakley. I was always aware. Luckily, I was fortunate to play with Anthony. But Charles Oakley, I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's a Mike that you and I have talked about. You mentioned before. I'm going to get you in the fourth segment here. Sweep the League Radio, Rudy Campos Jr., Derek Gervin, Shemai on the beats, guys behind the glass. We'll get an update for the Cowboys and Astros game coming back, as well as a certain Mike that Derek talked about. We'll be back. All you music heads out there, from punk to metal to indie, the Chuck Van Show plays the best in real local music from San Antonio and around Texas. Real new music you're not hearing anywhere else. Sundays at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on modsnapradio.com. It's the Chuck Van Show.
Yes, sir. Hey, I'm Mark the MC, and you are listening to Sweep the League Radio. Before we get back to the show, here's a message from I Am Refocused.
I'm focused, man. Focused.
IamRefocusedRadio.com are proud friends of Sweep the League Radio. With new interviews each week, we are looking for special guests. Do you have a story? Are you an athlete, music artist, business owner? Visit IamRefocusedRadio.com today and send us a message. Now, back to Sweep the League Radio.
Spurs season isn't just 82 games, but year-round. That's why you need to make sure you have the best coverage around at all times. Project Spurs provides you with the most in-depth Spurs coverage all day, every day. Articles, analysis, and live game coverage provided by some of the best journalists in the business. Need more? Listen to the Spurs Cast with Paul Garcia for even more Spurs-related news and notes. Visit ProjectSpurs.com for all the latest Spurs information, or follow them on social media. Twitter is at Project Spurs, or just search for Project Spurs on Facebook and Instagram. Project Spurs, dominating Spurs coverage and proud sponsors of Sweep the League.
Hey guys, it's Sweep the League. You've been listening to Sweep the League. Be sure to follow us on all of our Twitters, at Shemai on the BT, at Sweep the League is myself. Why not go follow Chris Galler at official Mr. 300, or head over to the website, www.sweeptheleague.com. Again, Sweep the League Radio. Jamming out with Sweep the League Radio, Shemai on the beats, Gizmo Campos, Derek Gervin, guys behind the glass, Stats and Galler. Last segment, before we all go trick-or-treating, be sure to leave the porch light on so we can knock on your door to get that candy. Make sure it's wrapped too. We don't take unwrapped candy. So we're ready to go get that candy here in about the next 10 minutes. This is Sweep the League Radio from 9:30 a.m. The Answer, sponsored by United Collision Care Center and Project Spurs. Last segment, Derek, we're going to do some one-on-one here because, like you said, you wanted to go one-on-one with the great one. If we get a phone call in 210-308-8867, you pick the winner. Is it Derek or myself? If that person wins, you'll go to UTSA football. We're going to be giving away UTSA football tickets all week as well. So be sure to tune into our Twitter at Sweep the League, and we'll let you know the contest here. Before we go, give me a minute of your time, Derek. You mentioned Mike, the scariest athlete that we've talked about, you and I, before off the air, was a certain Mike Tyson. And you smile because you're like, oh no, I remember that. I remember that story. And funny is Galler's back there laughing because he was there that night too. What happened with Mike Tyson?
That's funny. He brought that up. Wow. I was playing in New Jersey, okay? I was playing with a guy named Derek Coleman, who was the #1 draft pick in 1990, the first pick. He was a big Mike Tyson fan, and so were all my other teammates. Every one of them was a Tyson fan, and they really bought in, hook, line, and sinker, Mike Tyson. I was a Evander Holyfield fan. So we used to have our conversations on the airplane and the hotel, and we talk about boxing. I'm a big boxing advocate. I love the sport. And these guys told Mike Tyson that I was a Holyfield fan. So one day I come out of the shower. When I come out of the shower, who was out there standing in the locker room? Iron Mike Tyson. So I come out. As soon as I come out, he starts talking a little trash. Calls me that other Derek. Oh, that's the other guy. And, we had a little back and forth. It got to the point where I ended up telling Mike that I've been a lot of things in my life, but a fool is not one of them. So there's no way I will be fighting Mike today in this locker room, not tomorrow, not the next day. And we just had a lot of fun. It was something that was interesting to me. At least I could say Mike Tyson knows who I am. And I would say to this day, he still remembers me. But yeah, we had a few words. It was all in fun. But I did get to meet the great Mike Tyson. And we all know what happened when they actually did fight.
Oh, we're going to get Mike calling the line now. Great. This is going to go viral. Iron Mike's calling the show. As soon as he calls, I'm going to take my restroom break at that time. You can
I think he's downstairs, man.
He's downstairs waiting. Can the question is, can we take a punch from Iron Mike? Oh, hell no, I can't.
No.
Could you do it? Okay, $10 million on the table. Could you take that punch?
No, I'm one
Half
of
of
those
it is
people.
going to the hospital.
I can't be. I'm one of those people can't be bought off. So no, I'm not. I'm not. 10 million. I might not wake up. So how would I spend the 10 million? So no, I wouldn't be a fool and take that punch from Iron Mike. No way.
What if you wear gloves?
I don't want him hitting me. Period. We can talk about it, but that's as far as we'll go.
If there's pillows on the gloves, I might take it.
No physics. No physicality.
All
Is
right.
he punching in the face or like kidney, stomach?
Okay, let's ask the guys behind the glass, Galler and Stats here, both guys. If you've got $10 million on the table to take a punch from Mike Tyson in the face with gloves, would you guys do it?
Which Mike Tyson? Like in his prime?
We're talking.
Actually, never mind. It doesn't matter.
I don't think it matters. I mean, Tyson is Tyson.
Mike Tyson is Tyson.
Would you guys do it for 10? I mean, we're talking about 10 million? Punch to the face? Gloves on?
Did you guys see Roy? Did you guys see Roy Jones? How he was standing there at the interview after him and Mike had the exhibition. Roy couldn't raise his hands off his sides.
I'm assuming the guys behind the glass can't take that punch. There's no way.
I said no.
You said no, Mark.
I did.
I'm thinking about it.
Okay, so Stats is thinking about taking that punch. If we can get Mike in studio, then I think we can put up $10. I don't know about 10 million, but we can put up $10 for Mike to punch Stats in the face with gloves. I think we can even get Burger Boy to sponsor that $25 gift card and $10 for the punch to the face. Okay,
Make it a big event.
Make it a huge event. Make it a huge event. Like the event coming up right now. It's time to go one-on-one. Derek against me. So far, I want to say that I am the absolute greatest sports trivia guy in the world because I have yet to lose, but I have yet to win. I'm 0-0. Derek is 0-0. Derek, we're going to do, let's see, what do you want to do? Oh, we do 3 questions, 5 questions? What do you want to do?
The lower, the better.
Lower the better.
Yeah.
3 questions. Okay, so we're going to do it like this. Derek, you're going to get 3 questions. Then I'm going to get 3 questions, and we're going to see who gets the right ones. I have yet to see the questions, even though I was told it's in your email. I have yet to look at it. I promise you that. I don't cheat. I'm not the New England Patriots nor the Houston Astros. I do not do that. I don't need any trash cans banged, nothing. Who's going to get the most right here? This is a scary situation. It is Halloween. Galler, drop those first 3 questions.
What are we doing?
You're going to give him 3
football,
questions.
basketball,
Well, okay, what do you want to do? Pick a category, Derek. If you tell me basketball, that's terrible because that's kind of like big time knowledge there.
I'll go football.
All right, so he wants 3 football questions. I will take 3 football questions. We'll do football category. Who's the better host at trivia here? Let's go, Derek, with 3 questions. Galler, give it to him.
All right, Derek, ready. How much does an NFL football weigh?
Wow, that's a good question. I'm going to say, I don't know, man. I'm going to say 16 ounces.
All I have here is 1 pound.
Well,
1 pound.
16 ounces. I don't. Am I close?
You gotta get that one.
Conversion, yeah.
You're terrible at this. You can't even convert ounces.
Well,
Hey.
I said 16 ounces. How much is in a pound?
What kind of stats guy is this?
I'm not the stats guy. Mark is.
Give me question 2 until we verify that 16 ounces and what poundage that is. Give me the next one.
What team is considered the oldest in the NFL?
Right now?
Wow,
It just says what team is considered the oldest in the
okay.
NFL.
I guess
I think
overall.
not like player wise. Just
That's for me to answer that.
That's yours.
I would say the Raiders.
Green Bay Packers.
Oh, how stupid! now I have to let the fans know. Charles Barkley gets answers wrong all the time, and he's still loved. So don't get upset with me.
You are correct on one
I was about to
because
say, yeah, the first
16
one you were
ounces is 1 pound. That is
That's
confirmed.
what I thought. Yeah.
Exactly. That is confirmed not by the guys behind the glass.
Yeah, we did. We just marked it.
Well,
You just-
Shamai gave it to me. Shamai gave
Oh.
it to me. Give me the question 3. So Derek's 1 for 2. You got one
One for
right.
2.
Give me the third one for Derek.
All right, third one. This might be an easy one.
Why
Which
easy?
team has the record of scoring the most points in a single Super Bowl?
The most points in a single Super Bowl. Wow, that's a great question. I can't say the 49ers. Let me think. Who would put up numbers? I'm gonna go with the 49ers.
Ding, ding, ding. Correct.
66.6%.
I probably should have opened up the email and got all these answers now. This is terrible. I won't even get one. All right. Give me 3 right
All
here.
right, I gotta pick new ones. All right.
Give me the same ones.
Give you
Why
the same
not?
ones.
Give me
You
the
still
same
probably get 'em wrong.
questions. Yeah, I probably will. All right, let's go.
All right. What NFL team lost the first Super Bowl in 1970?
You guys should mind laughing here. The first Super Bowl, I know Kansas City was in Kansas City.
Is that your final answer?
No, man. I was in Baltimore, Kansas City. I think that's what it was. Baltimore.
Wrong. Minnesota Vikings.
All right, so I gotta swing for the fences here. I gotta get 2 for 2. Go, come on.
Okay, next one. What is the only team in the NFL to neither host nor play in the Super Bowl?
What is the only team to neither host nor
Or
play
play in the Super Bowl?
Detroit.
No, Cleveland Browns.
You thought we gave you a tip there, huh? Yeah.
Well, no, I just remember how bad Detroit's always been. So, but they did host the Super Bowl. Now that I'm
Would you
thinking
like
about
one more for?
it. Yeah,
Eagles?
give me one more. I mean, what's better than finishing second, right? I mean, second's the
What
first loser.
team won the first ever football game played at night?
Jesus Christ! Why did
This
you
is an
give-
old. This is an old team.
No,
I'll give you
I
that.
mean, you know what? I have a problem. We have 30 seconds left. You're giving Derek all the easy answers. Well, I don't understand
The
how
first
that
ones
is.
I had marked.
The first team to ever win a night game, Dallas Cowboys. I don't know.
Philadelphia Athletics.
Athletics.
Athletics. Wow. Okay, so you expect me to know that. What I
Yes.
expect y'all to do is tune in next week to Sweep the League Radio. Derek Gervin, Rudy Campos Jr., Shimon the Beats, the guys behind the glass are about to get fired for giving me these worst questions ever. United Collision Care Center, Project Spurs from 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Sweep the League. We'll be back next week, guys.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
Locked On Spurs gives you in-depth access to your local San Antonio Spurs team 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Jeff Garcia brings you multiple weekly episodes to include the ever so popular fan episode, giving you the fans' perspective. Download all past or present episodes of Locked On Spurs on all streaming platforms. Get locked in today with Locked On Spurs.
You are listening to Sweep the League Radio.
The Profits Podcast dives deep into sports with your hosts, Kevin and Rashad. The guys deliver multiple aspects of all the sports we love, including Kev's reasons as to why you never pay a running back. Always a great time to be had on the Profits Podcast. Don't waste your time trying to predict the future of sports. Allow the real profits to do it for you on the Profits Podcast.
You are listening to Sweep the League Radio.
Are you looking for the most in-depth coverage of your Spurs teams? Project Spurs provides news and notes whether it's your San Antonio Spurs or the Austin Spurs. Amazing player analysis, game-by-game coverage, breaking news and articles. Project Spurs will be your first source each time. Also, listen to the Spurs Cast, the first Spurs